You are listening to the Hello Sport Podcast.
What is up, punters and dribblers? Welcome back to another episode of All Talk, joined by another character of the game of rugby league. Eddie, we like speaking to characters from all walks of life.
We sure do, mate. We're big on characters, you and I. We're big on character and we're big on characters.
Well
and
said.
He's dripping in both, this
Yeah,
bloke.
he is. He is a big, burly front row forward for the Cronulla Sharks, the Cronulla Sutherland Sharks.
Yeah, he absolutely is.
He's a
yarner.
yarner.
He's a dribbler.
He's a dribbler.
And he's a little bit out of the box, which I like. He's not afraid to tell you what he really thinks.
Yeah, outspoken.
And he's not afraid to ruffle a few feathers along the way, which I also like.
Yep. He's real and he's honest and he's a very good man, very nice man, funny man. We actually recorded this before he made his comeback on the weekend in their reserve grade side, toe injury. But he is back now. I wonder if he gets picked for the Sharks this week. Who knows? Who knows? Have a listen. Enjoy. Toby Rudolf.
There you go. What the old country races, mate.
Mate, they were the greats back
They were the
in day.
best, weren't
They were
they?
the best
Yeah,
ever.
country races were the best.
That's it.
Which ones do you like? Cowra,
No, I was
Trangie.
Trangie.
Yeah.
Trangie, Twilights, which was at... Where was Twilights? I can't remember the actual town it was, but then
I don't know
Duck
if
Creek,
I've
went
heard
Duck Creek.
Oh, yeah. She
Oh,
is
so
about
you used to
town.
rip in back there. Mate, we were talking about country races the other day. They were such a great part of my youth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like they, I mean, obviously maybe we're not fucking 18-year-olds going to country races and shit, but like, I feel like there's not great country races to go to. Could be wrong. Shout out if you are country races I should go to, but like, I feel like there's not.
You're not the target demo though, mate.
Yeah, but I want to be.
You got
You wanna
to
go
go time machine and reverse age. Yeah.
But I think you can still get to a nice country races, get
You'd go-
frocked up and go and get blind on some muddy paddock.
And
Like,
what, roll out the swag next to the car?
no,
Get in on it?
I'd want to go and stay in town.
The swag next to the car was what the death was for me.
Yeah.
After hours on the piss, you roll up. Trangie especially, like it's, 35 degrees. You put
So
the
hot
swag
in the
out.
morning,
It
mate.
is fucked.
And the
It's
train
fucked.
goes past and fucking
Yeah.
horns you. And then you don't want to stay in the pub either, mate, because like it's a free-for-all in there. At least my memory of it was. People running around like fucking headless chooks, kicking indoors, like no
Jesus.
privacy.
Yeah, okay, I don't need that.
No,
I'm
you-
too old for that.
No, I know, which again, probably why you don't know about it, mate. I don't think anyone's coming to you being like, let's go to the Trangie races.
No, they're not. But that's why maybe we need something just like a slightly more,
Or should we make a resurgence?
Yeah, bring back the country races. Well, like Dubbo at the end of the year, we're looking at Dubbo.
We are looking at
potentially.
Dubbo. Derby Day.
Derby Day.
Eddie's a Dubbo man.
Yeah.
That'd be a doozy.
Yeah.
I've got some friends in Dubbo, actually. That'd be
yeah?
unreal. Yeah.
There you go. Well, it's good
See,
to know.
look,
Well,
look,
it's,
we've got momentum. You're in.
I'm in.
it's a week after grand final. So, look, obviously, if the Sharks lose to
It's not the
Manly in the
week
grand
after.
final.
It's a month after.
Dubbo?
November.
Oh, okay. I swear, was it last year? Was it a week after the grand final? Was it a
No.
COVID year? What's the week after the grand final?
I think you're confused, man.
I tell you what I'm confusing it with. That no limit rugby league punch on they had last year, which is a week after the grand final. And they had like fucking 400 people on the card. Would you do that?
I got offered Matt Lodge.
Oof.
Yeah, but the thing was, I was training in Thailand at the time and putting up videos of me training, but like not videos, sorry, just photos. If the videos were there, they wouldn't have offered it to me.
Okay, right.
He called me Don Mai, this guy. He was a Thai guy. Calls me Don Mai because when I punch like a tree, I'm just all over the shop. So, Don
Did you
Mai's trained
consider it, or are
Thai.
you like, absolutely not?
Well, when they said, would you like to fight? I said, offer me 20 grand. I was like, oh, maybe. And they said Matt Lodge, and I said, nah, probably
No.
not. Yeah.
No.
Absolutely not.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, like if I could throw him, I would, but I just know I can't. So
Is there anyone you got your eyes on for 20 grand?
the price would have to be, or it would depend on their ability. Like, because I have zero.
Like for like. So it's
Yeah.
about turn up on the day and just having a crack.
Yeah,
You
Matt.
never know someone's not, like, Matt Lodge seems like someone who'd beat the fuck out of most people.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I just fear. I just heard his name and just I got scared.
Yeah.
So maybe Alex Twile. I like him a lot, but just because of his try last week and just seems like a really good man that I would like to box with. You know.
But you got a bit lippy after his try, I think.
Needs to be brought back down to.
I'm not calling anyone out here. This is all respect. This is all respect. Don't try and twist my words.
Mate, I kind of forgot, but you're injured, hey? What are you doing to yourself?
Big toe.
That's right.
Yeah, it's a
the
weird
big toe.
one.
What
It
the
was real
fuck?
weird. I got the scar here to prove it. There it is there.
So you had to have surgery
Oh,
on it.
Jesus.
Yeah, so it was ligaments under here that tore off or something like that. And I don't actually fully know. but the sesamoid bone was involved.
The sesamoid bone, of course. Well, the most famous of all the foot bones.
Of all the bones in your body. But yeah, so when it first happened, I just sort of felt like my toe was disconnected from my foot. It was a weird feeling.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I knew something was wrong. And then x-rays came back, 10 to 12-week injury. Didn't know that was possible for a toe.
Yeah.
12 weeks?
I've been out for 10 weeks already, yeah.
Fuck.
It's been 10 weeks. I got, hopefully less than 2 to go. But, yeah.
You close to coming back?
Yeah, we got the bye this week. And I thought I was playing reserve grade this week to try and get back into the swing of things, but I was told that today that wouldn't be happening. Not entirely sure why. I think actually they play on the Saturday. We play the following Thursday against the Dragons, so too short a turnaround for me to back it up, sort of thing.
Hectic.
Yeah. So
what sort of rehab do you have to do? Is there any specific rehab for your toe, or is it more just like don't lose your fitness?
Well, that's impossible to not lose your fitness because I can't run. Like, I can do all the assault bike, all the ergs, all the ski ergs I want in the world, but then you start running again and it's completely different. Yeah, it's more just a lot of calf stuff.
Oh, okay.
Building up the calf.
Yeah, you get that. Your calf doesn't look like it's lost too much conditioning.
Oh, stop
Pretty
it.
nice calf.
Oh, come on now. You've been too cute, Tommy.
You are being very sweet. But, mate, the fitness is completely different. If I can insert myself, and I will, happily. It's like you can do all the long runs in the world, but unless you get back to OzTag, right?
Oh, yeah.
In the middle of summer on a heavy track, like there's nothing can prepare you for it.
Heavy track and OzTag's a fucking nightmare.
You know, when they haven't really cut the grass and it's a bit squidgy and it's just
I actually think OzTag's the inferior fucking of the two.
Touch.
Yeah.
It's more fun. Because you got to be. I tell you why it's more fun, because you can hit a line and it's so pure that they just can't get your things. Do you know what I mean? It's more like rugby league because touch is.
Can you put?
It's a completely different game. Yeah.
The kick element, I think, just should be across the board. You should be allowed to do.
It's a completely different game.
Because then you see someone like Sean Johnson play touch, you're like, well, I'm never gonna be that guy. Like you need to be that skilled to be any good at touch. But just like
but touch is not like rugby league. They're different in the way it's played. It's like quick dumps, like, you know, and then they shift it out the wide. So
yeah, I mean, none of it's really like rugby league. It's touch,
but it's closer.
Yeah.
Of course, it's not.
Yeah.
Firstly, I think it's just worth acknowledging that, you know, just a couple of just three Scots boys here just chopping it up, you know, just
Scots boys as well. Scots to the fore.
Scots to the fore.
Should we sing?
Do we remember the words, boys?
Not really. Oh, if you got me going, I reckon I'd be able to.
Scott the fore.
I don't know.
It's to the fore. Scots, our college thee we praise. Turning forth our mighty chorus. We shall strive through all our days, try to keep the torch ablaze. Let those who went before us time to show our heart. We're going to do the whole song?
I was like, I don't know. I can't remember much more than that. I was humming most of it.
I could hum it.
I could hum the whole bloody thing.
I actually didn't know it when we were there. Because I came in like year 10 and it was just sort of...
Yeah. Right.
It never really took me.
I started year 10 as well, but I heard the song for the first time and I went with like 2 mates from my school when I was at Marist. And like the song came on and it's a bit of a culture shock, that song.
Yeah, it's
like you're looking at your mates going, what the fuck is going on here? This is not real.
Yeah.
So
it's a different type of, it's a private school, so you know what you're getting into a little bit, but like, I don't mean you know what you're getting into. I mean, you know, if you're listening and like, you know, it's a private school, so it's going to be pompous, but when you go there, you're like, oh, I didn't, like, this is, you know, like having like a Latin fucking...
Yeah, Nostradamus,
Nutus,
Lumpus. May we be worthy of our forefathers? I mean, what are we talking about?
But I did enjoy it.
I loved it.
We loved it.
But it's different.
What was that like though? Because I mean, so you at Marist?
Yeah, Marist, Pagewood, like a local Catholic school where I sort of grew up. The way I describe it, which is sort of immature, but I'll do it nonetheless. When I was at Marist, if you go into a party around Botany, it's like a one story. You got to fish for drinks. You got to do your best to try and actually get drunk when there's no access to alcohol. But you go to Scott's at a sweet 16th. So the 6-story mansion in Point Piper. There's waiters, there's butlers, there's fucking DJs. Like Havana Brown was at a party I went to when I was at Scott's. Yeah, so that's sort of the level you're playing at. That's what you got to expect. So it's a bit weird.
That's so funny. We got bumped for Havana Brown actually. Was that who it was?
No, that was Tiger Lily.
Oh, Tiger Lily. Sorry, I thought
DJ Havana Brown. They're same sort of
vibes though. Yeah.
Tiger Lily used to give me a lift to school when I was in primary school. Fun fact.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So where'd you grow up? Pagewood.
No, Maroubra.
Oh, Maroubra.
Yeah. Grew up around there, and my brother and my mum, couldn't drive, so this red car would always drive past to the bus stop, and it was like her and her two sisters, the Hayes girls. And every time we would call it the angel car because they just kept saying me, and I thought that was this little indigenous poor kid that just was getting the bus, let alone I'm German. I just some very dark complexion. But yeah, so she used to give me a lift, and I tried to hit on her maybe about 5 years ago or more when, like, do you remember me? I was that kid, and then we had a good connection, and she let me talk to me again, but I tried. So yeah.
Listen, you miss 100% of shots you don't shoot. Or
Couldn't
whatever,
agree more.
You got to shoot your shot. So what? She'd give you a lift to school?
Not her mum.
Her mum,
she was about 11, so that'd been a bit ridiculous.
No, yeah, that would have been inappropriate.
Well, I was trying to work out how old she was. I'm like, hang on, is she?
Yeah, no. I think she's like 5. She's my brother's age. They were in the same year at school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What was it like growing up in Maroubra?
Mad, I loved it.
Yeah. You surf?
No, I only started surfing like 5 years ago, which is a bit of an issue because I'm a bit heavier now. Would have been nicer to learn when I was a bit lighter.
How are you finding the learning? Because Tom and I we've got plans to surf on the QS next year.
Yeah.
Okay, QS being
The qualifying
series.
World Circuit, you mean?
Yeah, World Tour, yeah.
My thoughts on that, or my thoughts on the learning in general?
Listen,
well,
man,
you can
get
no,
surfing
no,
about
I-
yourself,
look, I don't
like,
wanna-
you got any advice?
I don't wanna,
You're wearing Birks, I mean, you can do surfing.
Good point. I don't want to knock anyone's dreams here. I never will. I hope you guys actually do make it.
Thank you
The
so much.
learning, what I'll say is keep it consistent. If there's ways every day, go every day. If you go once a week or once every 2 weeks, you're never going to get better. It took me about maybe 5 years to actually get to the stage I'm at now where I can stand up every now and again and use a big board.
Use a big board, okay.
Yeah.
That's because he was trying to push me down the short board shit. I was like, dude, we need to learn on monsters, I think. Like, we need to learn on fucking doors.
Yeah, but I was also pointing out that, the competition we want to go in, everyone's going to be riding shortboards, mate.
Well, yeah, but I think,
And we want to go and show our power off, you know what I mean? Fins out.
You basically
whack the lip.
you can just
Yeah.
pay. You can pay you can pay to enter these like events, and then you get like a national ranking just purely through paying for it. So that's the goal.
That is outstanding. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
So I think we've got our eyes on the Maroubra Open next March.
So you guys are looking to just properly Eric the Eel surfing.
Yeah.
100%.
We
Exactly.
just want to be able to
Like
go
Eric-
on WSL and be like, oh, there we are. I'm ranked 6,000th in the country.
Let's be honest,
yeah.
Eric couldn't swim and he still was at the
He
Olympics.
couldn't swim.
That's what I mean. I feel like you guys have found a loophole here that might be corrected after you actually do this plan.
I'm not even joking.
I'm all for it.
Billabong just hit us up about giving us wetsuits. So basically, we've made it. We just need maybe some surfboards as well. I don't know where you get those.
It's a little deflating to hear that if every day for 5 years is sort of where you need to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like that's the thing. I didn't do it every day for 5 years. If I went every day, I reckon it would have taken. I got mates that went every day. It took them about 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah,
6 months.
6
We're not
months.
going every day though.
That's the thing.
Well, not yet.
Not yet.
Not at this stage.
No.
Yeah.
Who rips for the Sharks? Any of the boys great surfers?
Great is a term of like perspective.
Yeah.
But what for me, like the great surfers in my team, Blake Bradley's really good. Connor Tracy can rip a little bit of a cut back here and there. Jesse Ramian has started surfing about 2 months ago, and he is just about at my level, which is infuriating.
Is he just one of those guys?
One of those guys. I was about to say, one of those guys who's good at everything.
Those guys are annoying.
Pick up a
So
golf
annoying.
club and they'll just crunch it.
Dussy. Yeah. Heaps of that going on. So, Jaden Beryl just started as well. We've got a little surf crew going on, but I'm not actually in the WhatsApp group yet, which is really
really?
Yeah.
What do you mean you're not in the WhatsApp group?
Because I was injured for the last 10, 12 weeks, right? So I wasn't surfing for the last 10, 12 weeks. And this sort of started about that time I got injured. Nicholas Hines is the admin for it.
Okay. I was going to say that bastard better surf, looking like he does.
He's probably the worst out of all.
Oh,
actually.
really?
Yeah, he's pretty. He can stand up, but like that's all of us. We can stand up.
But also he only just needs to have a surfboard under his arm. Like that's
You know
all
what?
you really need.
Best part about surfing when you're sort of early is just walking down to the beach with a surfboard in your arm.
Yeah.
that just feels
Do
good.
you run
Everyone's
down to the
looking at
beach or do you walk? Because
'Cause
we
most surfers
see a
are
lot of
always half
surfers
trotting.
running.
They're always just like jogging.
Yeah,
somewhere.
no, I understand. It's to do with the froth. If you have the froth, you're jogging down there.
Okay.
If you don't have the froth, you're going for a walk.
Yeah.
Is there froth in you?
Froth is dependent on how much you do it. Like if you're going a lot and you stood up like the last time and the time before that, then the froth's on. Froth's on. If it's not and you keep falling over and you're not really going every day, the froth wavers.
Yeah.
I want to be frothing.
So I want to be frothing as
you
well,
wanna
but
be.
I guarantee you right now, if you gave me a board and sent me down to the beach, I'd be walking down. You know what I mean?
But Toby's just let you know, mate, that if you're full of froth, you'll be running.
I know, but I'm saying it right. I need to develop the froth, is what I feel.
Oh, yeah, you got to earn the froth.
Yeah, I don't think I've got it yet.
You're not born with the froth.
No, okay.
Nah,
You're not.
it's earned.
Not given.
Nah, not given. It's like respect.
Yeah, exactly. As the Rock said, I think. Is that on all the Rock's apparel? Not given?
Well, isn't his $1
Well, $7 Productions.
$7 Productions?
Blood, Sweat, Respect.
Yeah, that's
the
right.
Rock. Anyway, sorry, dude.
I thought he was If You Smell.
Well, that's the wrestling one, but his Under Armour, fucking all his Under Armour sports gear, Blood, Sweat, Respect. We love the Rock's just someone that we pay attention to because we think he was really cool as a wrestler, but he's not as cool now as a.
No, I agree.
Yeah, he's too famous, and it is what it is.
He's kind of lost.
When did you pick up a Steeden?
Were
you a Gilbert man growing up?
Gilbert man growing up.
Yep.
But that was purely because Mum put me in the wrong code, thinking it was league.
What do you mean?
She doesn't know. Well, she saw blokes running, and she just saw one sport.
Yeah.
And then accidentally put me in the wrong code. So
you went from a sport household where it was like fucking.
Not really, no.
Yeah.
Well, it was my mum, my brother, and me. My brother played with his mates, and they sort of played union. Mum thought it was league. She still didn't know. She put me in that code just sort of because my brother was doing it. I'm a German background, so my Oma, when I was growing up, she was always about soccer and like, it's a beautiful game, Toby. This league is too rough. It's too rough. So no one in my family had really played it, and then I just sort of took to it like water. Just loved it. Yeah. So, but I wasn't good until I was 8 because when I was 5, 6, 7, it was touch. Speaking on the touch again, I was a very big fat kid, so I wasn't really built for touch. 8 years old, started tackling.
That's when you came in.
Were you the kid where they just like you just run off the back fence and just truck seed?
Lots of that.
Man child.
Years. God, I wasn't a man child. I wasn't like too big. It was sort of I was bigger, but I wasn't like those kids you see that are 130 kilos at 8 years old.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good fun, good time of my life when I was scoring tries. Not like now.
Yeah, it's changed. What's your junior club?
For league, South Eastern Seagulls.
Oh, sorry, that's right. Union, and then when did you start playing league?
When I was 8, I did both, and then when I was 13, just Union until I was 19, and then I changed back codes.
Did you play any reps for Union?
New South Wales schoolboys in year 12.
Fuck yeah.
That was it though.
Mate, well, that's still good though.
It was, yeah, I know. I was hoping to make Australia, but
fucking politics. Mate, just another one that rugby unions let go. Those stupid bastards.
Did you play with Angus Crichton?
Yeah, he was in my year at school.
He was in your year, yeah.
There you go. Who else did you have anyone else in your side that was a bit of a? There wasn't a Kellaway, was it?
Kellaway was a year above.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I played first for Dennis Scots as well. It's not a big deal. It's fine. I don't know what my jersey is or anything. Eddie,
thirds.
Still GPS competition though.
He's first 8, Rowan.
Yeah,
first 8.
Yeah.
What was the 2K erg time?
6:36.
Impressive. That's
he has that tattooed on his fucking tricep. 6:36.
How could you not?
No, but you won the comp and shit back then, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, in year 11, we tied it with Newington.
Yeah.
They pipped us in like because it was when it was 2 rounds. It wasn't just 1 round.
Yeah.
So you played everyone twice.
See, it was 1 round with us. Once we went to 2 rounds, I was like, that was the sickest thing ever.
It's the best.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's reverted back to.
Has it?
But now it's gone back again.
Oh no way! They keep going back and forth.
So it's back to double.
It's gone back to double.
It should stay at double because double's good. Like you want to sort of.
Mate, otherwise it's 5 games. You can't get
5 games for trials.
Yeah. And
What's the teeth into it?
Aren't there like fucking? Aren't all the teams that used to? Isn't Shaw like not a good team anymore, or like? Aren't they like all like playing AFL or something?
I haven't heard of this. I don't know. I know that when I was there, Grammar dropped from first to thirds. So like their first play, everyone else's thirds, same as Armidale.
Shaw
and high.
Yeah.
Well, Armidale.
High.
Oh, Armidale. Sorry. Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah. Who else? Yeah, Shaw was awful when I was there, but Kings were terrible. Now they're all right. So it's just, I don't know.
Did you play against Suoli? No, he's fucking way too young. Penasini? No.
He's the same age as him. No.
Oh, okay.
Who did I play against? No one really that I was playing against sort of kicked on. In my team, there was like Jack Maddox. He was playing thirds though.
Was he really? He even played for the Wallabies and now he's overseas, eh?
In France, yeah.
So he's in thirds. You could have made it, Ed.
I could have made it. Was Connor Watson your vintage?
He was at Knox though.
But you would have played schoolboys with him.
I did, yes. Yeah. He was busy. Yeah.
What about Cam Murray? Is he your age? Is it all those? Are you?
It's quite a hectic little private school vintage of players.
Massively, yeah. He was real young. So I versed him when he was in year 10 and he was 16.
And just killing it?
Yeah, but we beat them 101-0 that year.
Newington?
Yeah.
101-0?
101-0. Apparently they were just in Tonga before and all got like super sick with gastro. So then we played them and they were just dog shit. They were just so bad. And then there was a big article about how Scots are importing and this, that.
Everyone was doing it.
Yeah, everyone was
That
doing
was
it.
Ruining the game.
Yeah.
I remember
Game.
reading that.
Everyone was
But
doing it.
Newington had even more imports than us. We just played better on the day, obviously.
Dude, but like 101, I'm like, that's not even gastro. What the fuck? Like, you know what I mean?
That's a good old-fashioned humping.
Even pooing yourself, you'd think you'd be able to play better than that.
Good old-fashioned humping.
Yeah, a rugby union humping, a private school humping. As always, punters and dribblers, we're brought to you by our good friends at Ned's, the preeminent punting platform. I don't know what preeminent means, so you might have to fact check me on that. But the number one betting platform.
Preeminent, I always thought was the best.
David will tell us.
You know what I mean?
That's what I think.
If
I just say shit.
But if preeminent means the best,
Then I'm
you
correct.
nailed it. Because they are the best. Neds are the best.
Do we want to just do like a clock for how long it takes Dave to type the word preeminent in?
It's already at 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, have I got time? I might just check my messages. 'Cause
Yeah, well, it seems like that.
It is surpassing all others, very distinguished in some way. And the example they give is the world's preeminent expert on asbestos.
There you go. Or the world's preeminent
example.
betting platform,
Is Neds.
in our opinion. Now, we've always got our Ned's group in there, which is pumping.
And when I say pumping, I think that would almost be an understatement.
Yeah.
It's filled to the brim with dribblers.
Yeah.
A few punters in there too.
Punters, dribblers, sharing bets, talking shit, having a good time.
Code dribbler.
The code is dribbler. You head to the groups tab in Ned's, and that is where you go to have yourselves a very fun, responsible time. But that's what it's about. We love Ned's.
Jump in there, share your
in
bets.
there.
Have you got a same game that you think is cherry ripe? Why don't you share it in?
A bet shared is a bet earned.
Yes. And sharing, as our parents taught us, is caring. Sharing is caring.
You know what else is caring, Eddie? Betting responsibly. What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website. Growing up, like when did you start sort of realizing that you could have been a professional, that you had
Anything.
talent? Could have been anything, yeah. Shout out to Rugby League Guru.
When it wasn't, I was sort of maybe, that's a good question, I don't really know. 12, 13 maybe. I was sort of making a few rep teams. I was sort of captain of Randwick. Our junior side, we were so fucking dog shit, never won a game in the regionals. But anyway, sort of around then when I was 15, started making more rep teams, made Sydney, almost made New South Wales, didn't get picked. But then, so it was around there I sort of realised that I was sort of had a bit of something, a bit of pizzazz.
Pizzazz.
Why not?
I just love that.
And then I always sort of was into my fitness as well. Like when I was involved with the surf club at Maroubra, from the age of about 8, 9 years old, I was doing fitness training every Friday, going for like 5K runs at such a young age. So
Really?
I think that honestly really helped me. And then when I was at Scots, I was forced to row. I didn't want to, but I was forced. So
I feel like that's most people.
yeah, massively. Did the 2 years. By year 12, I finally grew a set and told the teacher, no.
Not doing it. I'm
No
out.
more. I'm out. Fifth cricket was me. That was a lot
Oh,
of fun.
yeah. Love it.
that
What were
was
you,
some
batter
time.
bowler?
I was all rounder.
Okay.
Most improved in fifth cricket, actually.
Oh, there you go.
Most improved.
Most improved, yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, my first over, I bowled 6 wides.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, well, listen, the only way is up from there,
that's
isn't
what
it?
I mean. So most
What
improved
were you,
was
slow to
given.
medium? Or did you
I was
try to land a few pies?
no. It was slow to medium. It was I tried to be a pace bowler and 6 wides happened. So yeah,
Yeah.
that was that.
You became a spinner.
Became a spinner. I was more of an outfielder. I was a great fielder.
Yeah.
Lots of catches.
Oh, okay.
No drops. All catches.
No drops.
But like they were all sitters, and because I was in fifth, obviously everyone could not catch. They'd always like, oh, mine, and then straight through the bread basket. But I actually caught them.
Yeah, right. So
That's
you
the
were,
most
you were a
improved.
standout.
Yeah.
It's the most improved.
that
That
was
is
on
good
fire.
stuff. Love
What was
that.
your summer sport? Oh, you were a rower. What about yourself, Tom? What was
I did basketball. I was 11th basketball.
11th?
Well, because you just like, it was like you just sort of social sport. You,
Yeah,
you got
yeah,
to
of
pick your
course.
team. Like you get all your boys in there.
Friends, yeah.
And then, obviously, as you know, first 15 obviously took priority. So then it's just summer athletics.
He would drop this into
Summer
every
athletics,
interview.
right?
He drops it into every single interview.
Listen,
we've
dude,
ever
if there's a
done. Hope you
fellow,
have.
if there's a fellow alumni here, you know, who's bloody
Should have worn your blazers, boys.
Colours
Hey?
and that? Colours and that?
Colours and that. Colours and that.
I didn't even get, like, I got injured. I dislocated my knee in year 12 after getting knocked out, and then I didn't get my colours, and then I got my colours because they were like fucking. Mum was pissed off because
His
they
mum.
shouldn't have, because
That
there was
is the
no
most
one.
private school
Isn't that the most
ever.
private
His
schooling
mum
of
asked.
all time?
Yeah,
He didn't
so-
deserve him, but he got him because his mum had attention.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, listen.
There's plenty of that in my year.
But credit to me for standing up here, you know, and admitting it. I didn't deserve them,
No, listen.
but
credit
actually
to
I did. But I didn't.
credit to you.
Credit
mate.
to me, right?
You were saying before that you you spent the first 4 years after school working. Where were you working? What were you doing?
Heaps of stuff, hey. Well, I started working when I was 13 when I was in school. So
Where at?
first job was Flower Power, mascot.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I was a trolley boy.
I love that flower
That's
power.
is that just around
Good
the corner?
stuff, yeah,
It's a great
That's a good
flower
flower
power.
power.
Yeah, it was
dude.
good stuff.
We got
I go
a
there
couple
all
of
the
those pots.
time.
These pots are from there.
Yeah, me and Ella going there. We've got like a planter box thing outside our room.
Yeah.
At home, we always go there and get all these flowers and lavender, and we try and make it look really nice, and then forget to water it, and so they die. We have to keep going back.
Are you a
just
bit
like
of
an endless
are you a bit of a
cycle.
green thumb now? You do know stuff about plants? and
Oh,
everything,
nah,
or-
not one bit. Not even a little. I was more of a trolley connection supervisor.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
High
But
powered.
I was also a landscape manager for a little bit because I was paid $8.40 an hour, so I was by far the cheapest labour they could get. After that was Kmart. Graduated from there to Kmart for a year and a half. Heaps of jobs on the way. I was a glassy at Coogee. I was a barback at Coogee
Oh yeah,
Pavilion.
yeah. Were you still playing footy at this time?
Yeah, the whole time, whole time.
So how old were you when you debuted?
24,
Fuck, that's old. So how old are you now? 26, 27?
27.
Interesting. It's not old to debut at 24, but it sort of these days somehow feels like it.
No, it definitely is. I mean, most guys like Cam Murray's and stuff, I remember I was at South with him when he was debuting. I was 21, he was 19, something like that. And he's a middle. He's the guy in the middle of the field, and he was debuting that young, and he wasn't even that big. So it was sort of a bit old, but yeah.
How'd you maintain the rage in terms of, did you not being disheartened? Did you feel like it was ever out of your grasp?
Yeah, one time. So after that first year of first grade in 2017, didn't play a game, was never even close to being 18th man or anything like that. I remember just bawling my eyes out to mum in the backyard going, that's it, I've blown it. I'm going to have to get a real job now. This is fucked.
Yeah.
Which it was.
Because just even before you said it was your plan A. It was your only plan.
The work along the side was just support footy so I could actually do both.
Yeah.
Ended up going to Redcliffe Q Cup for 1 year and had the best year of my life up there. Just loved it. Loved Brisbane. Great town. For footy.
You know what, dude? I like Brisbane as well. I hate Queenslanders.
Yeah.
But I fucking love Brisbane.
It is a town and a half, mate. It's so much fun. So I had the time of my life up there. I'd go to the BWS up there playing for Redcliffe Dolphins, and some bloke would be like, "Oh, you're the number 11 from Redcliffe." I'm like, "How do you know that?"
Yeah.
So they love Q Cup up there.
Yeah, Q Cup's actually like a respectable comp, whereas here it's just so reserved. It's so second grade.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, all your first graders come down. There's only one team for one reserve grade team.
Is it as good quality and just not cared about as much, or is it actually just not even as good a quality?
No, it's probably better quality than Q Cup.
Okay, right. It's just that no one gives a shit.
No one gives a shit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like Q Cup actually has fans. Like Redcliffe has fans.
Yes.
North has fans. Like literally every single team has an actual fan base.
Yeah.
So an example of that, after we won the grand final for Redcliffe in 2018, go back to the Redcliffe Leagues Club. There are, I'm going to say 5,000 people there.
Oh, wow.
5,000.
5,000. Like it was wall to wall. Like the only space was for a tunnel for us as we walked in, right? The following year, 2019, I win the comp for the Jets. We win the comp for the Jets. Sorry.
Is that where that dude did the chip kick?
Yeah, that was that
What's
game.
his name? Margulius? Was that?
Billy Magoulia is
Yeah.
still playing for the Jets now. Anyway, that happens. I'm telling the boys, wait till we get back to the Leeds Club. It's going to be thousands of people. It's going to be fucking wall to wall. It's going to be insane. Get there. There was 5 people at the front with a Go Jets sign.
Wow.
Yeah. I was jaying the boys up and that sort
That
of
would have been like, mate, what are you on about?
yeah, like you are a shit talker, which I was at the time. Obviously not anymore.
No,
But, yeah,
absolutely not.
That's changed.
Yeah. So how'd the move to Queensland come about? Were you just not getting any opportunities down here, or is it like, does someone they approach you, or do you have a manager approaching other I
had a manager going for clubs in Queensland. So there were 2 boys that came down, Anthony Charrington, Brett Grenke, who had just been in Q Cup the year before. And they told me the difference with it, like the main difference being that, so what I was saying before, so the Sharks have the Newtown Jets.
Yep.
Everyone drops down to the one side. At the time, the Broncos had North, Redcliffe, Souths, and Ipswich maybe. So there's only 3 or 4 first graders going into each side. So if you can hold a side in one of those teams, you actually have a spot for the whole year. So does that make sense, sort of?
Because it's more splintered.
It's more
as opposed
splintered.
to here, it's chop and change every week. in
Yeah,
New
exactly
South Wales.
right. So every single first grade team in Sydney only has one reserve grade team, whereas in Queensland Cup there's about 2 or 3 to a team.
Yes, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so that was why they told me it was a great competition to play in, and they told me the fun it was as well, because you have about 6 away trips a year for Q Cup. So you go to Townsville, you go to Mackay, you go to Cairns, great time. You go, you have a country round, all these things. So that was sort of the reason I went there, because I had no chance of making it if I stayed here.
Did they put you up Like, do you have to get a job and stuff, or
Yeah.
you do? Yeah.
Yeah, so I was a landscaper for a month, which
Dude, how fuck's landscaping?
worst job in the world.
Dude,
yeah.
it is. Like,
It's so
shout out to
hard.
landscapers. It is so hard.
They need a pay rise.
Dude, it is so fucking hard.
Yeah, I was lifting 40 kilogram pavers in 40-degree sun.
Dude,
just like
well, and like
Mate.
soil, moving soil in like a bin or something. You're just
Barrow
like, this
work?
is
No.
fucked.
chopping up turf with an axe.
Yeah.
Just to try and top a whole yard with an axe.
Yeah, respect.
No.
Dude.
So luckily work ran out after a month for that. I was going to quit otherwise. And then I was a door-to-door salesman for HelloFresh for a month, which was the worst job I ever had.
A door-to-door
Can you give us a-
salesman.
what's- what-
Can you
give us a, like, a
yeah, knock on the
spiel?
door.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's fine.
So I'm going knock, knock, knock. I'm wearing an apron.
An apron.
They've made you wear an apron. Yeah.
What about like a little hat?
Nah, just apron HelloFresh on there.
Oh,
knock, knock,
fucking
knock.
hell.
And I'm going, I bet you weren't expecting a good-looking rooster at your doorstep. Slam. Slam.
shit.
Yeah, so it was torture. It was torture.
Did you make any sales?
Yeah, there was one day, this is the thing, right? It was no hourly rate. You only made money if you actually sold.
Oh, that's such a racket, isn't it? Yeah, they're just getting your
ridiculous.
commission. That's all you get.
So but the one day I made, I think it was like $500. I made like 8 sales, but then there was also one week where I made $50.
Right.
So not really feasible.
Yeah, it's not sustainable.
No, it's
And
not.
so you just hit every house in streets?
Yeah, they
suburbs?
just give you like a map, and they just say, yeah, go around here. Most of the houses have a do not knock sign, so you're not allowed to knock. So that was, every third or fourth house you're getting slammed in your face in anyway.
Jesus.
Yeah, worst job in the world.
Yeah.
by far.
Are they still doing that? Is it still? I mean,
Door-to-door
door-to-door
salesman. I
salesman
haven't-
seems like it's an unnecessary sort of approach, right? Nowadays,
I haven't had someone knock on the door looking to sell something for a while.
I'm trying to think if I've ever done.
Them the last few
Charities
years.
they do.
Yeah.
I had a guy. I forgot, but I'm still paying $25 a month to a UNHCF or something. Some guy got me good, came into the house. I ended up yarning to him for like an hour.
Came into the house.
Yeah, when I was living in Redfern, and he just knocked on it. He's a nice guy. So, sometimes, like, if they get you at the right time,
Yeah.
you fucking can't just say no or close the door. And I had, or like, maybe I just had no good excuse, like, lined up for why I couldn't talk. He came in, was a nice guy.
Where'd you put the kettle on?
Mate, we sat down. I don't know if we had a kettle in that house, let's be honest. That house was fucked. But anyway, I get it. Shout out to him. How'd you quit that job? Or, like, how long were you doing it for?
1 month, 4 weeks.
Right.
So there was a guy there that was working, that his mate had just left and started driving trucks. And I thought, well, that's me. That sounds way better. So did that for 6 months. Best job ever.
Driving trucks.
Driving trucks. Not
Jeez.
big trucks.
Yeah.
Like, it was sort of like
Little removalist ones, or
I was.
furniture.
It was food. I was
Food.
dropping food and drink off to like cafes, schools, all those sort of things.
I don't mind that either. Like, you're sort of on the road,
Mate, it was sweet. You're on
sitting
the
in a
road.
car.
Yeah.
Were you with someone else, or were you by
Nah,
yourself?
no
so you
boss.
can just do. You just go.
4
This, I've
work
got to do
breaks a
this.
day.
Got to move this to there, here to
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
That's enjoyable shit. Like, that's
was.
in terms of if you're going to be doing.
well,
it.
if you're ranking jobs, it's a lot higher than others. 100%.
It's a lot higher than landscaping. Again, no disrespect to landscapers. Toughest job in the world. So you're up in Queensland for the fish. That's a dolphin, sorry. We call them the fish.
Okay, I like that.
So you're only there for a year. Why'd you only stay for a year? Why
I got
didn't
signed to the Sharks.
Oh, so you got signed to the Sharks off
Yeah.
the back of that.
Yeah. For
Oh,
1
hectic.
year.
So did you rip and tear that year? You must.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, so I remember the first round one we were versus Norths, and I was on the bench.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't like for a few injuries, I wouldn't have been in like the BRL side, the reserve grade side for Q Cup. And I said to the coach, like, mate, I didn't move here to be on the bench for Q Cup. I moved here to be starting. If I'm still on the bench in a few weeks, I'll probably pack it up and go back home. Following week, we're playing the Burleigh Bears and in Burleigh, and it gave me my start. And I don't know what happened. Something happened. Something clicked. Mum was there. My auntie was there. My uncle was there. And I just thought, well, this is it now. If you don't run with this, then you're going to be a carpenter, a landscaper, go back working for HelloFresh for the rest of your life. So that was it. I just sort of had that mindset of, back against the wall, time to either nut up or fuck off.
How did the coach react when you said that to him? Like, because that seems like that's kind of like a bit of an intense thing to have to like say to a coach, like, hey, brah, like, start me or I'm fucking out of here.
Yeah, well, thinking about it that way, that is pretty nuts. Yeah, I think I was a bit sort of nicer when I was speaking to him. Yeah, start me, I'm fucking gone. But no, he was pretty receptive to it. Obviously, he gave me the start the following week, and he just said, mate, I'll give you a chance. Adam Mogg was his name. Remember the...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was the coach back
Queensland legend Adam Mogg.
Correct.
He probably likes seeing a bit of mongrel though.
Yeah, he might have liked the...
Aggro, like all the forwardness of your... So what do you think it was? It clicked. Was it just the sink or swim now or never sort of thing?
Yeah, I think it was that. I think it was I was sort of a bit Mr. Nice Guy when I was playing for South or playing with their reserve grade side, North Sydney Bears. I would just sort of let go the guys, oh, you have this run, I'll just sit back and relax. But then when it was sort of sink or swim, I was like, nah, this is about me now. A bit more of an individual mindset almost. And I just made a lot of good friends up there as well, which sort of helped along the way too, to be honest.
Yeah,
so
right.
it was just a culmination of a lot of things that just allowed me to play my best footy.
How were you when you found out you'd been signed by the Sharks?
I remember I was parked up at a Woolies, which
Yep.
was most of my job. Parked up at a Woolies waiting for a lunch break. And I get a call
In the truck?
In the truck, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Get a call from this bloke, and his name was Grant Jones. He was the recruitment manager at the Sharks at the time. So, mate, want to get you down for an interview with Shane Flanagan, all this sort of stuff. And I hung up the phone and proceeded to scream for about a minute straight of
Hectic.
just pure joy. Like
Good.
it was one of the best moments ever. I called mum straight away. I was almost in tears, and yeah, it was. I still get a bit of goosebumps thinking about it now.
Well,
eh?
it's kind of like, it sounds very cool. It's like you're in the truck, you're grinding, you're trying to fucking chase your dream, and then you just get that.
Yeah.
And it's like a moment with yourself. And you
Yeah.
get to scream and just be like
Yeah.
absolutely jacked.
That's sick. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
How'd the chat go with Shane?
Was really good. He got sacked about 4 weeks later, which was a shame. But the time, the chat I had with him was great. He seemed like a really nice guy. And now when I see him, because he's the guy that got me there in the first place, it's always a handshake and a how you going and a good chat. So, yeah, thank you very much, Mr.
What are you
Flanagan.
talking about there? Is it like...
When I go down to see the Sharks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you had a good year. What do you see yourself fitting in this group? I was playing on the edge back then. I wasn't actually playing in the middle of the field. So he's like, where do you see yourself? And I just sort of said anywhere just so I can get a start. And it's just, more just him talking about how good the Sharks are. That's sort of any NRL coach does.
So they're more just trying to sell you on the club as opposed to, I mean, I'm sure there's a part of it where they're trying to get a read on you, but it doesn't feel like that.
No, it's more just them trying to, sell the club to you as a thing.
Do you feel like you need to go prepared with right answers? I don't think I'd be able to prevent myself from seeing it as like an interview almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sort of is that way, but you can't really prepare for the answers. Like these are ask you questions that are pretty simple, pretty basic about where you're from. What do you want to achieve in the next few years? Where do you see yourself? All that sort of thing. So it's not like it's a job interview per se. Well, kind of is actually, if you put it that way. But there's not like asking you rocket science.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's rugby league after all.
It is rugby league.
It's a simple game. It's a beautiful game.
Beautiful.
It's a complex game, but it can be a simple game.
Well, it's hard to simplify it because it's quite so complex. I think Matty John said that. It's
Yes.
really hard to simplify, mate.
Was that when he was running shape? Was that
Yeah. Oh, who knows?
So how long were you there once you signed with them? Like, do you play straight away? Like, do you play the next
Sharks?
year? Yeah. Like, or
Well, it was interesting, right? So we won the Q Cup, and back then the winner of Q Cup and the winner of New South Wales Cup played before the grand finals, a curtain raiser.
Yeah.
So I played in that game, did my ACL in that game, which was torture. So I remember like looking at the team going, Aaron Woods, he's out, I'm in, let's go. That was my first honestly good thought. If Woodsy's listening to this, love you Woodsy, absolute legend of a man.
He's at Manly now.
He's
Yeah.
at Manly now, yeah.
We're Manly fans. So
I can tell.
Yeah, well,
that is a doozy photo.
Yeah, well, that given to us by Jake and Tom.
Was it really? Yeah. So he took his own photo of himself.
Well,
like
that was what was
is
funny.
So
It was
arrogant.
Jake took it off him.
Yeah.
And then he signed it.
Yeah, exactly. It is funny though because we're so un-Trebojevic to like they're such humble, nice guys. It was almost funny to have them giving us a photo of Tommy. But they did, so they're full of themselves.
I think he had something sitting in the garage.
They're full of themselves. It's
Actually
official.
arrogant.
Yeah. But so you did your ACL.
Yeah, I did my ACL, so it was so annoying. I had all these grand travel plans. I was going to Nepal, my brother, to go trekking across different mountains and stuff, and I was going to go to Vietnam, check that place out. So that all came crashing down. So that was just tears.
But you'd already signed with them at
I'd
that
already
stage at
signed,
least?
luckily.
Thank fuck.
Yeah, that was very lucky. So the whole next year I was in rehab. Didn't make a connection with anyone. Everyone in the team hated me for 9 months.
What do you mean? Like actually, or is it just
They didn't like me. They literally did. Well, I was in rehab with Wade Graham. This is a pretty well known story I've told a couple of times.
Okay.
So Wade and I are in rehab together, and I'm just like being too much for myself. I'm going in. I'm changing the music. I'm telling him how I won a Clive Churchill medal and how I won a grand final. He's done fuck all in the game.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Why were you doing that? Do you reckon?
No, it's just me. It's just who I am. I'm just a fucking idiot. Like, yeah.
But do you think were you maybe nervous and trying to like?
Yeah, it could have been a bit of nerves, a bit of like trying to trying to be liked, trying to be like.
Do you think you were trying to be funny and lighthearted?
That's what it was. It wasn't me being serious.
You weren't being
at
a
all.
prick. It was just like you were
I won a Clive Churchill medal in reserve grade.
Sorry, that's what I was confused. I was like, what the fuck's going on here?
Sorry, I called it a Clive Churchill. I still call it a Clive Churchill. It was actually a Duncan Hall medal.
A Duncan Hall.
Because you confused me then. I'm like,
I was like, wait,
but I assumed you meant second grade.
Yeah, no, I say Clive Churchill, and I still say it now, like as a J-up, but obviously now I play NRL, so it's a bit different.
Yes.
Back then it was more of a J-up, obviously.
Yes.
So he just told everyone he hated me, pretty much, that I was a fuckwit.
So you got weighed offside.
He literally went into Flano's office when he was still there and go, either sack him or change our times or I'm gone. Like, there were the three options.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So how did you find out about that then? And like, did you have to change something that you were doing, or like that would have rattled the fuck out of me if I realised
it was a bit hectic.
Yeah.
The way I found out was Wade just stopped coming to my rehab times, and I was like, oh, it's weird. He must be a bit further ahead of physio than me. Then he told me to my face what happened.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's like, I went to Flano because you were doing my head in. And I was like, oh, okay, sorry.
When did he say that to you?
Probably about a month after. I was like, mate, where you been? I don't see you anymore. He's like, yeah, it's because I went to Flano and told you to get fucked. I was like, oh,
Oh,
sick.
heck.
Did you
Cry?
Yeah. Like that would have given me hectic anxiety.
Yeah, I didn't feel good about it, obviously, but it was warranted. I knew I was carrying on like a fucking pork chop. There was even one time, this got me on side a little bit with the boys. It was a Christmas party. I got surgery maybe 4 weeks before. So I'm still in a brace. I'm still pretty sore. End up getting absolutely blind at Gow's Chrissy party. And I'm doing the same thing. I'm going, you guys come third last year. I won a fucking grand final. I won a Clive Churchill. Josh Morris didn't take kindly to this, and he starts piping up going, if you play for your country, you play for your state, you played a game at NRL, you played fucking nothing. And he full hated me as well. So, yeah, it was baptism by fire. Some guys got on side. Matt Moylan thought it was the funniest thing of all time.
Yeah.
Andrew Fafita liked it as well. So some guys liked it, but most of the boys were like, who the fuck is this? Like, imagine that. Imagine some bloke coming across and saying all these things. So, it only started turning around when I played, and I actually played all right for the Jets, and that was what turned it around. Started going out with a drink after the boys after a game, and that was it.
Are you mates now?
Sweet as. I was like, I told this story to Josh Morris on the radio 2 days ago before our game, and we had a big hug, and we're all sweet now.
Yeah,
that was good.
Right.
That must be a relief.
A little bit, yeah. 100%.
It almost puts more pressure on you to perform, though, doesn't it? You're like, Jesus
Well,
Christ.
it did, yeah. Like, the boys are sort of saying, I remember I played a game, one of my third game back after my knee, and I played really well, scored a try, and was like defending very well. And all the boys afterwards started calling me Clive, and I felt so good about it. I was stoked. Yeah.
Clive.
That's mad. So how long have you been in the it's funny, years just all mash into one now.
So when was it, 2020?
When I debuted?
Yeah. 2020.
24 years old, yeah. So it was the year of COVID, of course. So I debuted round 1, and then round 2 there were no crowds allowed. So round 1 my family could come, everyone could come watch me play. So it was, I was so thankful that could happen, because there were blokes debuted. I think Jake Alvarillo debuted round 2, I remember. And no one could come. His family was there, but they couldn't even come into the sheds.
Oh, really?
So yeah, that was when I started, and been playing ever since. Been loving life.
What was the COVID experience like? The COVID footy experience?
It was so weird, eh? Like playing in front of no crowds. You never do that in your whole life. There's always someone on the sideline.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. It's literally a glorified training run, but it was kind of like a bit, beautiful is a pretty shit word to use, but it was like a pure thing. It was just pure footy. Like it was just blokes just trying their absolute best with no external noise. And that was kind of a cool side of it. Like, it was a bit weird. The bubble was pretty weird, like having to move up to Brisbane the following year in 21 when Sydney exploded with COVID.
Yeah.
Where did you get put, the
Brisbane.
Sharks? In Brisbane.
So, this is the sort of...
Because some people had it better than others.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. See, us were in the Q1 in the Gold Coast, had like serviced apartments. I was in a box. I was in a box in Brisbane. Yeah,
and were you able to leave it? Or like, were you able to...
The first 2 weeks, no, you couldn't leave the hotel unless you were training.
Shit.
Yeah.
But so you could leave your room? Or
you could leave your room and go across the hotel, because we were there with the Tigers and there was another team, and the Dragons at the start. So it was us 3 in one hotel. Everyone else, there were a few boys at the Mercure and the Gold Coast, like South Warriors, Bulldogs.
Was there anything where you're like, fuck, I wish I wasn't stuck with the Dragons?
Well, we versed the Tigers later on in Rockhampton. So we all get the different buses, same flight. We put 50 on them. We come back, same flight, and we're just blasting music, getting blind. They're in the back of the same plane.
Oh, no.
Just so sad, and I felt sorry for them a bit, but you know, we were on a high.
Yeah.
We were stoked.
Loving
And it's the Tigers.
It's
the Tigers,
so,
yeah.
So whatever.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Fuck them. Who'd you support growing up?
I was a Roosters supporter.
I feel like, the Roosters. Why? Aren't you a South man? How are you
Yeah.
not a fucking...
Yeah, how'd that go down?
Not well. So my brother was a diehard South supporter, but mum.
Was he at the Batuta thing the other
Yeah,
night?
he was there.
He's a big boy.
He's a massive unit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been nice having his size growing up.
Well, I was wondering whether did he ever try play?
Yeah, he was dog shit. He was so bad. Yeah. I remember
Wrecked.
passing the footy with him when I visited him in jail a few years ago, and we were passing the footy at Bathurst. We could actually pass the footy around and stuff, and he was looking like he's like a 6-year-old girl passing the ball. No respect to 6-year-old girls, but the coordination is
Well,
less
listen,
than.
they're not ready for top flight rugby league.
They're not.
I'd
They're not
say.
yet.
No.
Give them a few years. But yeah, and I was just like, oh, that's why I never played. So I sort of
There you go.
put two and two together.
Yeah, right.
But so he wasn't a fan of you.
Nah, Ben Roosters supporter.
Being a
That was
Roosters
Mum's
supporter.
doing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Mum was a Roosters supporter. Wouldn't be going for the Roosters because the South kids in the area weren't too kind.
Oh, okay.
She wanted me to sort of just
Or naughty boys down
naughty
there.
boys down there. Yeah.
Did you ever get close, like getting, because it's? Did you grow up in a housing commission?
Yeah. Yeah.
Was there any sort of element there where you could have gone down the wrong road, or was there those sort of things pulling you in that direction, or?
My brother sort of went down that road a bit.
Yeah.
Came out the other side, much better for it though, which is good. But luckily, I was so fortunate. So I was in this one. Sims Grove was the street, right, and we just had this Sims crew of people that one's now a stockbroker. Another one's a real estate agent, which isn't that good, but not bad.
Well, mate, there's some real estate agents go pretty fucking
Yeah,
well.
going very well. And then, a few, there's a nurse, there's this, there's that. So we were just like a real tight knit crew that we would never there might be kids around that were fighting and lighting bonfires and doing this shit. We would just play footy and just go to the beach and stuff. So we were just, I don't know if it was like the upbringing we had, the parents that we had, or what it was, but
Bit of luck, maybe.
bit of luck. Honestly, it was just luck that we were all just there in that one area. No one was
Yeah.
really doing anything too bad.
That must have made it even like there's going to a fucking private school just from anywhere if you haven't been one before, but like coming from housing commission to then seeing like the extravagance of what a private school is, it must have been a fucking trip.
The culture shock was like, I'll never experience anything like that again. Going from, the Tucker shop to the Black Watch Cafe.
Yeah, I know, dude. The
Black Watch Cafe. And all the mums are in there like...
And I remember this one kid come in one day, he had the brand new iPhone, whatever it was. And I was like, how'd you get that? He goes, I stole mummy's credit card.
Oh, my
Word for word, I
God.
stole mummy's credit card.
Holy
I was
hell,
like,
yeah.
okay, I'm here now.
Yeah.
I'm not at my
this
house
is it.
anymore.
Did you find it a bit overwhelming at the start? Or were you pretty cruisy just sort of going in and...
I was sort of just like sticking to my own for the first little bit there. Like, even the sense of humor was different. Like, the way that, like, people were laughing at the weirdest things that I couldn't get my head around. It was so weird. So after a while, I sort of got the gist of it, got the sense of humor, got the, the chat down. But I ended up just being mates with the country boys, to be honest.
Did you board?
Nah, so Angus Crichton made sure I didn't, because I was in a rep team with him the year earlier, and being the same thing I did with Wade Graham, just being a fuckwit, right? And he goes, whatever you do not let this kid board.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he barred me. He barred me from boarding.
You've ruffled a couple of feathers on the way through.
Mate, always. It's just like, I think I can't turn it off. Like I've gone to different clubs and been like, nah, let's just keep it settled now. Let's not be that.
Yep.
But I just...
Yourself.
It's just in me, I just can't do it. And then everyone sort of realises like that I'm not putting it on. It's just who I am.
Yeah,
sort
you've
of
just
thing.
been
Yeah.
So that's all right. I'm used to it.
I hope that's why you're not in the surfing WhatsApp, mate.
Maybe. Yeah, I know. Too many feathers ruffled.
Shit.
Nico Hines, give me a star.
Yeah.
Come on, Nico.
Does that like... And again, I just want to preface this with, I'm not trying to get you to say anything, but that same, and we can edit anything out, but does that same mentality, like when you copped heat for your fucking footy show, going down to Northies, which was just you being yourself, and I think most people took it for what it was, but like, even in that moment, is that you just being yourself, and are you then having to go back and reflect on it and be like, oh, fuck, like, how was that experience for you?
It was interesting, of course. It was just an overreaction from everyone. Like, to be honest, it was poor timing from me. I didn't know there was like a women's rights march going on.
Yeah.
So that was a bit of a oversight by myself. But Like, it was an obvious joke. I said it was a joke, and the age of outrage is in this day and age, you can't say anything.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I come out a year or two later, say I kiss blokes, and I said anything at the time, and then the people that actually said I was being sexist, well, they're being sexist, assuming that I was,
Yes.
you know what I mean,
yeah,
talking about
yeah.
women. So I'm offended, and I want an apology. Long story short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It was, that was a weird thing. Like, that was just sort of my introduction to being like, okay, you're not playing Q Cup anymore. You're actually sort of watched by a few people, and you got to watch what you say sometimes.
What you can't. Yeah. There's people that are just looking to
bring you down,
take you down.
as it is.
It's interesting.
People. I mean, people will run with anything these days. It's as simple as that. I remember hearing that, and I knew exactly what you meant.
Yeah.
And
Well, it was just
and
a fucking. It was
as
a,
in,
it was a
like,
yarn.
you know,
You're
like, I'll
excited,
meet
you're
anyone
having a-
and we'll
yeah.
talk, and that's it. You know what I mean? It wasn't.
No.
It certainly didn't come across derogatory. Although I can see how.
Well, you can see how the
potentially-
people who look for issues with everything.
But that's
are
the
gonna try and
problem,
find an
right?
issue
If
there.
you look for it, if you want to look for something,
You'll
you
find
can
anything.
find it.
Yeah.
You'll find it 100%.
What's the name of the potty that you started with Liam Knight?
Stuck in the middle.
Stuck
with
in
a
the
K.
middle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Number one
And-
podcast in Australia at the
Yes.
moment.
No, it is number one. Just it's just behind Rogan, I think, or is it
Yeah.
just Pip Rogan?
No, it's Pip
You've just
Rogan.
pipped.
And so now, unfortunately, we mean Wells third. So
They're down,
yeah.
and then well, look, I mean, it is what it is. You know, you can't.
It happens.
It happens
It
exactly.
does.
How do you know Liam? Is that from back in the day when you were at Rabbitohs? Or?
No, that was from he came to my Redcliffe Grand Final. So that 5,000 people that were at the Leeds Club, him, Tom, Jake Dvorovich, and Luke Garner were four of them. So that there were four lads.
They just flew up to go to the Redcliffe Grand Final. Did they know you, or was
They
it?
didn't know me. There was like 3 or 4 Manly boys, old Manly boys in that Redcliffe
Okay.
team, and we were in the sheds drinking with them. Like, they lasted longer than most of the other Redcliffe boys. So it was like 3, 4 in the morning in the sheds after the win, and Casey and the Sunshine Band comes on. The song "Give It Up." Baby, give it up.
Yeah.
And we both just got nude and just like started hugging, and after that we just sort of started hanging out heaps. So
There you go.
that was that.
Yeah,
That was
nice.
the
And
Nick.
so, what was the when? How long you been wanting to start a podcast for, or like what was the sort of motivation there? Is that something you're looking to do? Like, is that post career thought, or is it just for a bit of fun? Or
It's sort of just having a crack at something different.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm not doing any sort of extracurricular study because I tried that when I was younger and didn't work out.
yeah,
And it's just sort of having a crack at something new. Just like, honestly, just about having a crack. That's
Yeah.
half the motto behind it is just having a crack. The way it came about, we were living together in Maroubra at the time, and it was COVID times, and we were locked inside for how many weeks it was, the first lockdown that come about.
6 or 7 or something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
That was when it sort of first came about. We were, you know, up until the early hours of the morning on a bender, and he just sort of, we should do a podcast, something like that. We were just talking shit and just laughing at ourselves, and
I think that's how most podcasts started.
It
I think
fully
that's
is,
exactly
eh?
how we started.
It's exactly how we
exact same thing.
Yeah.
And then we always talked about it, never actually put anything towards it. I'll talk to Chad Townsend about how much his gear costs. Never messaged him once. I'll go buy JB Hi-Fi, buy some gear. Never went to JB Hi-Fi. And then what happened was Liam got sober, went to rehab, and actually started doing things he meant.
Yeah.
And that's how it came about.
That's how it started.
Yeah.
Hectic. And you had the great and powerful Roger Fabry on recently.
Oh, we
who's
did.
also
We
we've
did,
been
we
lucky
did.
enough to
He's
have
good,
a yarn
isn't
with
he?
Rog.
He's good.
He's a different bit of gear, isn't he?
That's a good way to describe him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I love that man. Such a
Yeah.
ledge, mate.
Yeah,
Such
yeah.
a ledge.
He doesn't give a fuck about
Zero
what anyone
fucks given.
thinks.
Yeah.
He just
Yeah.
comes in and he does his own thing.
Uniquely himself, and he's just
Unapologetically.
unapologetically.
He's got a
himself.
great story as well.
Mate, he does.
Yeah.
He does. I mean, did he talk to you guys about how he got locked up as well?
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
insane.
wild.
Never rolled on anyone, so he's a stand-up guy as well. Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't give a fuck what anyone thinks ever.
No.
No, I know.
Yeah, jail on the line.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
Have you ever trained with him?
No, he's invited me a few times, but I'm always travelling in the off-season. Like, I'm never sort of sticking around here.
No, what do you do? You just fucking go anywhere?
Anywhere, yeah. Last year I went to Perth, started in Perth, then went to Bali. I went from Bali to LA. Then I drove from LA to Austin because I had an ear infection, couldn't fly. It was fucked.
Nice.
22-hour drive. And then
Where'd you get that in Bali? In the Bali pools, probably.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Don't put your head under in Bali.
Nah, I did it everywhere. Did it every pool possible, and then that happened. So I went from there to Mexico, Cancun. That was unreal. And then went from Cancun to Thailand.
You doing this by yourself? You with anyone?
Yeah,
or?
by myself. I'll
Really?
meet people along the way,
Yeah,
but generally
okay.
just by myself. went to Bangkok, went to Pattaya, finished in Phuket on a training camp. I was training a little bit, most of the other stuff. And then back here. So that was last year.
So you just cruise around. You go from
just go wherever I want to
city
go. Yeah. So I just sort of this year I'm starting in Vietnam. Got a friend of mine that's lived there for a few years and he's threatened me with a good time. So I thought, why not?
Yeah.
And then after that, I don't know, South America maybe. I haven't been there yet.
Really? So you just bounce around. I respect that.
Yeah, it's it's a big world out there. We've got 9 weeks to see it a year, and I want to use it. Like I want to see it, mate.
You were saying before that you were about to go to Nepal with your brother. So do you like doing that sort of adventure?
Yeah, mate. Anything
side of things
weird.
like hiking and
just different shit. Different shit. Like I've been to Bali enough times now to know what to expect, which is always fun. Don't get me wrong, but like I wouldn't mind.
That's the rugby league players' mecca, is Bali.
It fully is. Yeah. It fully is, but. To walk the road less travelled and you try and like get a bit of growth out of it too, learn a bit about yourself, that sort of stuff. More into that.
Yeah, eat, pray, love stuff.
Eat, pray, love, baby.
Eat, pray, love. Interesting.
So what's your goals for your footy career outside of obviously like winning a comp? Have you got like higher honours?
Yeah,
State of Origin.
I'd love to. I'd fucking love to. It's. I remember the first year thinking I was going to make it. Turned out it's actually really hard to make State of Origin, surprisingly.
But I feel like your name's been thrown. It's like it's a name that when obviously you've been injured, so this year it wouldn't have been. But like I feel like even last year or something, I do remember your name being sort of chucked around.
Oh, possibly.
Those sort of conversations.
Possibly. I know. Look, I know that Freddie sort of holds me in high regard, which is nice to hear. But this year obviously won't happen. We got like 2 games before round 3. I doubt I'll get picked up for 2 games. It'd be nice if I did. But yeah, just.
You're still like you're in the right age for it,
Yeah, still in the right age, and like I'd love to. That's a dream. That's a proper dream. Like I remember watching my coach Fitzgibbon when I was a young kid, 2008, watching him trot around and thinking, "Fuck, wouldn't mind being like that bloke." Even though he's a massive Derek. Love you, Fitz. Love you, mate. But yeah, that'd be unreal. Winning a comp, obviously, and. Maybe in like years to come, sort of going overseas with it, seeing the world in a different way instead of just having 9 weeks, maybe living somewhere else.
Maybe go to Catalans or something.
Something like that. Yeah, even go back to Union.
You go to Japan and get paid. Dude, have you been to Japan before? As a person who likes to travel, Japan is so good.
Oh no,
it's actually probably like my favourite place I've ever been to. Like culture shock. You don't know, like you want to talk a culture shock.
Yeah.
They really speak fucking English over there.
Yeah,
it's mad.
Yeah.
Would you consider going back to Union for the World Cup in Australia? Was that 2027? So 4 years away.
4 years away, I'll be 31. I'd love to. Yeah, playing World Cup would be mad.
What position would you be in Union?
I'd be back row.
Back row?
6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
I finished as a loose head prop, but that's why the year's like this.
Yeah, right. So at high school, you were a prop?
Yeah, year 12.
Yeah,
Because we had like a lot of good second rowers and no good props.
Yeah, okay.
Or very few. So I had a mate of mine that was going to play second row in seconds if I didn't move to prop.
There you go. You got the man up into the first.
Yeah.
And that goal jumper.
Indeed. Got him the... Actually, it was an honour cap assist from me.
He got the honour cap?
He got the honour cap, yeah. First
Holy
day rowing,
shit.
first 15 rugby, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so you're a gentleman.
You're a
man of the people.
Yeah. Well, that was back when he was about everyone else, and then it was like he became selfish, and
then he became selfish,
greatness.
individualist, and that's when exactly.
What's Fitzy like?
He is such a ledge, mate.
Yeah.
He's such a ledge. Like he just has so much care for his players. Like he can just sort of talk to anyone about anything and just about any given topic. Very well read. Like he's always reading books, and he's fucking nuts as well. Like
in what way?
In what way? So game day, every game day he'll do an hour and a half. He's a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. He'll do an hour and a half of wrestling, 5 minute rounds, no breaks. So when he talks to us about getting out there and fucking being tough, and he's talking and his neck's sore and his arms are sore and he's just feeling like, fuck, that's the only way he feels like he can talk to us.
He's doing it. Like
he's there by putting himself through the pain first.
Yeah. Who's he wrestling every day?
Jiu-jitsu blokes.
Oh, so he's going to, right, sorry, I thought he was doing it in
So he
training.
goes in.
Isn't there fucking
No.
wrestling Fitzy every
Yeah,
morning?
so right, he goes in for a roll and comes out and yells at you.
Yeah.
Hectic.
Is there, I wanted to ask, why is Nico Hines' hair so wet?
Moisture, perhaps.
Like to see.
That's good, yeah.
But it's like, yeah, wrecked me. But what's his approach before a game? Because he comes out sopping wet. Is he in the shower?
He's in the shower wetting his hair, yeah. I don't know why. I think it sort of keeps, well, when I had long hair, it keeps it out of the face a bit more.
Oh, okay.
When it's dry, it sort of waves and it can get in your mouth. And well, for me anyway. So
Your hair was fucking long though compared to his.
Yeah,
It was very long.
It was also very like afro-y and like I had to tie it up or else it'd just be
All over the shop.
All over the shop, mate. Yeah.
Nico does. I mean, look, he either sweats profusely or he gets.
No, because he
gets
runs
a good squirt.
Because he
in
runs
there.
out wet.
Yeah, he
He
does.
does. He runs out full of moisture.
I don't want to. We basically were the first people to notice, and I'm gonna have to. There's a podcast somewhere where we basically were like, "This guy's the wettest hair on the planet," and I don't know where it was, but just so Nico knows.
This is where it started?
This is where it started, buddy. He seems like a really sweet guy.
Yeah.
Nico Hines, like
He's
a very
a sweet,
genuine
delicate
dude.
flower.
But is he as he also like? Because I know he's got his podcast that I've when we grow up. But I almost see a bit of like he's not just this sweet, like lovely. He seems like a bit of a smart ass as well. Like he can have a laugh.
Yeah, definitely. He's a bit of like rat bag's not the right term to use, but he's a bit of a smart ass, like you said.
Yeah, in a good way.
In a good way,
Yeah.
yeah. No, he's like a practical joker, loves a prank, loves a scare. He grew up sort of similar background to myself, and he's got a bit of larrikin in him as well, but he just sort of turns it on and off and knows when to. He's like a sensible. I was traveling with him for a bit actually in America when I was there.
Oh yeah.
With him, it was terrible. I actually hated it with him. Yeah, he was too delicate for me. Like,
Yeah.
Wouldn't try food and wouldn't like want to do
really?
this. And he's like, nah, I can't drink today. I need to train. I was like, mate, you just won the fucking Dahlia medal. Have a week off, mate. Like seriously.
Oh really?
I see
Yeah.
he's disciplined, very disciplined.
Yeah, that disciplined as, and he's got like a mindset coach, and he's very big on his mindset things. And just very rigid in his ways, but love the man.
It's
Love the
funny
man.
with like I imagine, and maybe you can shed some light, but there's like many different approaches from like in one team you've got someone like Nico who's super fucking process driven maybe, or like their mindset, and then you've got people who are like, are you all taking little bits off each other, or is it just that you're just like, mate, there's no way I could be that way inclined about, like, I couldn't take that approach to footy and vice versa?
Yeah, I reckon it's a bit more of that. I reckon for myself personally, I'm just sort of rock up and play. I actually hate warming up. I hate the prep for a game. I love playing. Don't get me wrong, I know that preparation is important, but it's just not sort of in my nature to go and seek a mindset coach or to do these things. Like, I did say at the start of the year I wanted to get better at journaling, all this stuff. Never even tried. Thought I was going to do it, but didn't do it.
Dude, you know what? Just even the intention was good.
The thought was there.
At least you thought about it.
I did think about it. Yeah.
How do you wind down then, like away from footy?
Surfing is one big one. Hanging out at the beach, family, watching TV, cruising.
Yeah.
Cruising.
Yeah.
Just doing nothing. It's good fun.
Fuck yeah. Mate, before we let you go, and I mean, sometimes we ask this and we don't get an answer, and we've gone away from it in recent interviews, but
We're bringing it back.
well, just it's one of the great metrics to be able to compare the everyman with the athlete, right? And obviously, you and I athletes, Eddie the everyman. What's your beat test? Do you remember what your? Because I mean,
Yo-yo
sure,
test.
Scott did the fucking beep test.
Yeah,
Like, that's just
is yo-yo test to
nah.
No,
We don't have
it's gotta be a beep.
It's a beep test, mate.
It's got to be a beat. Got no time for yo-yos.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna go. The last I remember, maybe a 12 was in there somewhere.
Okay,
think.
It's not bad.
12's handy.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
12's handy.
12's good.
Well, last I did was 6, so
Yeah. We did one like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Cold day, barrel, barefoot after a big night out because we said we were going to do it for content. Tom got like a 6, I got like
6.
11.
Yeah.
You got a 6, you got an 11.
Yeah, and we never released it.
No, well, we've given it to Tobler to edit. He's now been employed with us for over a year, and he has not edited.
Have you ever looked at that, mate?
Well, okay,
Is
great.
it no? Well, why hasn't it come out and seen the light of day?
Exactly. Well, and like
great
a lot
point.
of our audience are like, "Where the fuck's the beep test footage?" I think we're hiding it. We're definitely not. Tobler's just not doing his job.
Yeah, that's definitely what's going on.
Yeah, that's the tough
But
one.
it's getting on. It's been 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe not 4, but
Let's just put it behind a paywall.
yeah. $20 to see it.
Yeah.
Put it on your OnlyFans.
yeah, exactly. That'll fucking sell. Mate, thanks for coming in. It was good to chat.
It was, boys. Thank you very much for having me
Good
on.
luck for the rest of the
Thanks,
season.
bro.
Obviously, Manly win the comp, but if
You can come second
you
if
can
you
come
want.
second, if you don't mind. I guess.
Yeah, look. Thanks. Sounds good.
Cheers, bro.
Thanks, bro.
Cheers, boys.
Could you two just not talk anymore?